Welcome back to Blind Man Morris, and I'm going to show you a step-by-step fault diagnosis guide to how we worked out what was going wrong with our car and why it wouldn't start. So we got in the car the other day, put the keys in, turned them on, and the lights came on. The fuel pump pumped, and everything was tickety-boo. Pulled the choke out, pulled the pull start, the engine cranked beautifully, none of the lights went out, and it wouldn't fire. In fact, it didn't even sound like it spluttered. So I thought, that doesn't sound right. So I'm going to show you what we looked through and how we found the problem. So let's get in the engine bay and see what we did. So here we are in the engine bay. And the first thing I did before I started getting multimeters and everything out was just check the connections on the battery. So I reached over, give them a good old tweak, and check the ear strap. And even check the kill switch, just because the kill switch might be tight, just check, make sure it was all tight, and it was. And then I checked the connections right through to the fuse box, seeing if there were any loose connections, and there wasn't. So I heard the fuel pump ticking. I knew fuel was being delivered to the float bowl, and the fuel pump stopped ticking, which means the float needle in the float bowl was working and it was closing off. So what was the next thing to do? But before we go on to that, let's go over to Amber's logic. So go on in, Amber.
So in my simple brain, here's how I think about it, and hopefully it might help you, is that in order for this engine to fire, there needs to be a spark of sufficient strength inside the engine, if you put your hand on the engine, John, and that needs to meet fuel of sufficient amount at the same time. So what you're trying to work out is, if it doesn't fire, has the spark gone all the way to the spark plugs? And has the fuel got all the way to the spark plugs as well?
Yeah.
And that's what you're trying to do. So what we did first of all was the pump, didn't it?
It did.
So we knew that it got to the carb.
Yeah.
And you then took out a spark plug.
I did, and the spark plug was wet, and I could smell fuel. So I knew the fuel was being delivered to the top of the engine.
So that then tells you it's not that side.
It's not on the carburation side, so it's on the ignition side. So next thing to do is, although it's spun and cranked beautifully, is there enough charge to give us a good spark? So we went and got the multimeter, which I've got in my pockets here. So we took the multimeter, set the DC volts on a 20-volt range, popped the two probes on the battery, and it gave us a reading of 12.7. So no issues with the battery, good charge. So then what we did is we probed from this side of the battery through to the fuse box. So we knew that we got connection to the solenoid to the fuse box to coil, both sides, coil in and coil out. So we knew we had power all the way to the coil. So the issue had to be in the distributor. So the next thing we did was pop the cap. I'm not going to do it because it's all clean. And looked inside, checked the rotor arm. Then I got the starting handle, put it in the front of the car, and cranked the engine over with the keys off, obviously, and see if the points were opening and closing correctly, which they were. So we thought, what do we do now? Time to pull the distributor, I think, because it's easier to work on it out of the car. So 10 minutes, distributor was in the house. Amber did a full diagnostic on the distributor, cleaned the points, reset everything, greased the cam, cleaned the rotor arm. Actually, no, we changed the rotor arm.
You could have cleaned it, but we chose to change it. We also changed the condenser as well, because an obvious culprit could be the condenser.
Yeah, changed the condenser and then refitted the distributor in the car. And then we found the culprit. It was none of that. It was the
LT lead connection inside the distributor. So inside the distributor on the side of it, you can probably see it down there. Let me see if I can get it to it there. On the side of the distributor is the piece where the LT connection is on there. And the wire inside that had worn and was frayed.
Yeah.
And so we swapped that out because we had a spare. And then we put the distributor back and the car fired. But doing those initial checks enabled us to quickly isolate the issue, was that it was in the distributor.
I mean, first things first, it took us about 2 minutes to work out that it was on the ignition side, not the carburetor side.
Yes. The issue is that if you just go, well, you could say, why didn't you just go straight to the distributor? Because you might then start working on something that is not the problem. So if you do it in a systematic way, trying to go from both sides, fuel one side, ignition and spark the other side, and rolling things out, you'll quickly get to what the problem is.
And you need to go step by step. So don't just jump from battery to distributor. Just go all the way through.
Yep.
Each step at a time, and that will isolate the problem. There you go. And so that's how we found the problem, and we fixed it. Took us about an hour, but it was good fun. And there we go.